What's up, guys, and welcome into the Clutch Gene podcast. We took a little bit of a sabbatical over the past week. A lot of stuff going on in our lives. We got it all sorted out. We're back in it. You might notice throughout the podcast that there's one person missing today. Mikey can't be here, and you know what? We're going to make him pay for that one. We got a lot to talk about. NBA playoffs is the topic of today's conversation for the most part. So let's get right into things. So last week, the playing games happened for the NBA playoffs, and the Warriors ended up missing out on the playoffs. They lost to the Lakers, and then they lost to the Grizzlies. My question for you guys, does this Warriors team and Steph Curry, who is a generational player and carried the team as far as he could, does this make LeBron that much more valuable? I know that's a weird question, but I'll explain. So basically, LeBron carried the 2007 Cavs and the 2018 Cavs to the NBA Finals. And he was pretty much a solo man in that mission. He had role players, but that's about it. That's all they were role players. Steph Curry this year carries his team to the 8th seed, loses in the play-in tournament, and I would argue that either of these teams that Steph Curry had, or this team that Steph Curry had, was better than either of the teams LeBron had going into the finals. What do you guys think? What does this say about Curry, and what does this say about LeBron and his value?
Well,
Zach, go ahead.
You really sound like Mike right now, bringing up LeBron when it has nothing to do with him. But I know what you're getting at. It shows just like how much of a dominant force LeBron is, that he can carry a team like as good as Steph is, like fucking top 2-point guard of all time, changed the whole game completely, and still couldn't top the Grizzlies in the play-in tournament. It shows how ridiculous of an athlete LeBron is, that he can carry bums. I don't know if you guys ever seen the SNL skit where it was for the 2016 Cavs. It's like, we're the other Cavaliers. We get LeBron's
Yes.
dry cleaning.
Yes, I've seen that.
Like, that's not that far from the truth. And I just found it funny that you were the one to bring up LeBron this week, filling in for Mike because he's not here.
Well, Mikey's not here, so of course we have to talk about LeBron James with him not here. And don't worry, I think Mookie will take his place as the resident LeBron lover. Go ahead.
I completely disagree with your point, Kyle. This team Steph Curry has is not even close to what LeBron James had. LeBron had a couple of stars on that team. This team, Steph.
Name the stars. Name the stars.
Irving?
No.
That was in
2018, you said, though.
That was not 2018. 2018, Kyrie was not on the team.
He was on the Celtics.
When he came back,
Kyrie was on the Celtics. No, Kyrie. Well, no, that was
after he left.
Yes, 2018 Cavs.
I mean, he still had Kevin Love.
Okay, he had an injured Kevin Love. I don't even think. I think Kevin Love was injured for that whole playoffs.
Regardless, LeBron had a better team around him than Steph, because Steph has nobody right now. Who does he have?
Steph does have garbage. He has Kelly Oubre and Andrew Wiggins to back him up. I'm not saying that LeBron had a better team, but like Steph doesn't have a good team around him.
But
Even if
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
LeBron builds his teams. Like, he knows before the year begins what he needs and what he doesn't need. So he will have shooters, Kyle Korver. If he needs a big man, he has a big man. Steph literally came into the season expecting my boy Thomas to be ready.
Thompson.
Whatever. Thank you. And then
your boy though.
He just got hurt, and Steph's like, okay. And then the whole season they were just booty, and then slowly they got better, and then they came to the playing game because thanks to Steph. And I think he should be the MVP because what he did for this team, nobody else is doing it for their team. So you can't compare this team to LeBron, because LeBron from the start of the season he knew what he had to do, and he knew who he had to be.
As much as it is regular season MVP, you know that playoff plays a role in it, and I don't think Steph can be named MVP if he lost in the play-in tournament. As bad as his team is, I know it's regular season MVP, but we all know that playoff success does play a little bit of a role into it.
I mean, Westbrook that year he won. We're not gonna get into it, but he lost in the first round.
Right, but the thing is, his team was also. That was an outlier because he put up a triple-double season. I'm pretty sure there's a stat where like the last 15 MVPs outside of Russell Westbrook, their teams finished top 3 in the conference. Russell Westbrook's team finished 6th, and he's the lowest seed. And sorry, I just got a message that we're in a severe thunderstorm warning. That's cool. But anyways, so first of all, I disagree that this team was worse than any of LeBron's teams. Maybe if you want to say the second best player on the team was worse than the second best player in LeBron's at least 2018 team. But in 2007, LeBron had nothing. Like nothing. Mo Williams, Zydrunas Ilgauskas were the second and third best players. He had nothing. And then I think that in 2018, okay, if you want to put Kevin Love above all these other people, even though Kevin Love is he's not the same Kevin Love he once was. If you want to put him above anybody on this Warriors team, okay, sure. But I think the role players are better on this team. Andrew Wiggins is a 20-point per game scorer. He's a decent defensive player. I'm not saying he's great. He averages 18, Mookie. I don't know what to tell you. He averages 18.
He'll average a high amount of points because he is the second best player on the team.
No, he averages 18 in general. Look at his career stats.
Really?
He averages. I'm pretty sure he averages.
You can't do career though. You can't do career.
But yes, you can. That's what he is.
No, you can't.
Yeah. Why? Why?
Because he was good, and then he just became ass.
No.
Timberwolves, he was really good.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
He was good. He
was not good.
Pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a first overall pick, but that doesn't mean anything.
He averages like 20 points a game.
Yeah.
And granted, he did come from.
He was the ball handler.
Granted, he did come from the Warriors.
Okay. What did he average this year, Zach? If you can check that for me.
This year, he averaged 18 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 2.5 assists.
There we go.
What
did I say? What did I say? All right. Jordan Poole. 21, but Jordan Poole is actually a pretty good role player. He's a good sixth man. I actually really do like Jordan Poole. James Wiseman has some room to grow. But
he's a rookie.
Kelly, it does look like a bad pick considering LaMelo went next. And then Kelly Oubre, but he had a down year.
They didn't need LaMelo.
But okay, but I mean, would you rather have LaMelo and trade him later, or would you rather have James Wiseman?
No, would you rather have
they tried to fill a need. That's what they tried to do. They needed a big. They tried to fill a need.
I'm very big into best player available. You always draft the best player available.
But you can play with 3 small guys though, Zach. Steph Curry is so good.
Exactly.
And Klay Thompson is even better off the ball. So those guys don't need the ball.
It's the GM wanting to try and keep with some sort of tradition.
Well, he done fucked up.
But I guess to wrap up my point is that name me a role player on the Cavs from 2018.
Give me a second.
was
fucking
Dellavedova might have still been on the team. Maybe.
Goat.
J.R. Smith, who grabbed the rebound and lost game 1 for him. Tristan Thompson?
Yeah.
You seriously watched the Celtics and you watched the no, Isaiah Thomas
Kyle
wasn't on the team
Korver,
for the playoffs.
George Hill.
George Hill, Kyle Korver.
Okay. Are any of these guys better than Andrew Wiggins?
Yes, Andrew Wiggins sucks. And Kyle.
You just said he was good.
Dude, his
you just said he was good.
A pick to get rid of his contract.
Mookie, you just said he was good.
He's no good. You said he was good. I'm telling you, he's not good. He used to be good. He's no good anymore.
What do you mean? He's average. He's an average NBA player who happens to score 18 to 20 a game.
He's that guy that's there because he has a contract to fulfill. He's there because he wants to get paid. He is not there. He doesn't want to play. If you told him, hey, get your money, go retire, he's done. Some of these players, they don't want to be here. He doesn't have the it. He does not want to be here. Watch the just.
But he's still a good player.
Listen, he's not. His last year in
He's
the
an
Timberwolves,
okay player.
Watch the way he was not interested. Jimmy Butler was talking shit about this boy. Like the reason Jimmy Butler left
Jimmy Butler talks shit about everybody. Jimmy Butler's an alpha dog.
Man. That guy sucks.
I'm not saying Andrew Wiggins is an alpha dog, but I mean, come on, let's not use Jimmy Butler as the example. Zach, go ahead. What did you want to say?
So, a couple things first. Also on that team, Jay Crowder and a washed D Wade. But what I was gonna say, Steph's, I'm sure you both know, his contract expires next year. Does this fuel, especially with all that we saw over the All-Star break, does this fuel the super team collab that would be Steph Curry and LeBron becoming teammates?
Not gonna happen.
You don't think
Not
so?
gonna happen. Steph's not leaving Golden State.
You don't think? They're very buddy now. Much more than they were before.
Steph's not leaving Golden State.
Kyle, to go back to your point, 2006, 2007, Larry, whatever his name is, I wasn't in America at this time, averaged a lot.
Larry Nance.
How much?
He
nope,
averaged
2007.
Say his name. I don't. What is it? I'm looking at this. No, I don't want the playoffs. He averaged 14.
Okay, 14. Is that a? You just told me that Andrew Wiggins, who averages 18, isn't good. So you tell me, Mookie. You tell me. Mo Williams or Junior Stiligoskis.
Yeah, he's no good.
Yeah, those
You're right, he's no good.
Those names inspire any confidence in the team.
Ilgauskas.
Yeah, but I just think that okay, I had this idea after the game that I think that Steph Curry's inability to bring the team past the play-in tournament. LeBron not only took that shitty ass Cavs team from 2007 and won with them, he made the playoffs. I think they were like a 1 seed or a 2 seed. Like, he didn't scrape into the playoffs. They dominated the regular season and made it all the way to the finals. Same with the 2018 Cavs. I think they were a 3 or 4 seed. Steph Curry barely made his team get to the 8th seed. And this is no shot at Steph Curry. I mean, we'll bring up the question next of where Steph Curry ranks on the all-time pantheon of players, but he's just not. I think there's levels to all-time great, right? Like, Steph Curry is an all-time great player, and nobody questions that. He's top 2 point guard of all time. But LeBron is like, it's like there's echelons. It's like LeBron is tier A, upper echelon, and then Steph Curry is like B in the all-time great category. It's like you have your bad players, your average players, your okay players, your good players, your great players, and then that echelon is now separated into categories in itself. And Steph Curry is not in the same category as LeBron James. And I think that it just shows.
I mean that's no shit.
But like people, but I think it's crazy to see because Steph Curry is like, what is he, the second best player in the league right now? You know, top 5 at least. Yeah. Kevin Durant would probably be ahead of him.
Your point. What I'm getting from you, you're comparing Steph Curry's team to LeBron's team back then, and then you're comparing Steph and LeBron. But they played each other in the first round. If Steph Curry played someone else in the first round, I think the last game he got unlucky. I think he would have been in the playoffs. And LeBron is the best player, second best player, like at least second best player, not the first. Steph Curry is not top 5 when it comes to best players. He's the best, top 5 point guards.
So that brings up the question of where does Steph Curry rank on the all-time echelon of players? Like, is he in your guys' top 10?
Easily.
I think he's in my top 7 at least.
I don't think he's in my top 10.
He's easily in my top 10.
I can name a handful of players right off the top of my head who I'd put ahead of him. Okay, LeBron, Michael, Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell, Hakeem.
Nah, stop.
What?
Before you go. Stop.
Hakeem?
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell has like 11 championships.
I don't care. I don't care, dude.
Yeah, no, he can
It's a
fit
team thing.
rings on all 10
What?
all 10 fingers and then his dick. Like, that's impressive.
No matter
that's
what
very
era
impressive.
you're in,
That's very
no matter
impressive. No, hold on a minute.
no matter
Hold on
what
a minute.
era
That's
you're
very
in, that is impressive.
I don't care if you're playing against plumbers.
And
that shit's
and
impressive.
Absolutely.
and the leader of all of those teams revolutionized the game too.
Oh,
Like
come
just
on
brought
now.
a new form.
Okay. No way. No way,
What?
Kyle.
Give me no.
He's top 10, but
No. Don't say no. Give me your point. Why? Why is he not? Why did he not revolutionize the game?
When
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know.
Hold
You don't know.
on.
You're just saying no.
Let me go. Let me speak. He had a head start on everybody that played with him. He was playing against white guys. No offense.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
whoa,
Playing against black
hey,
guys.
Okay.
whoa.
Okay.
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 Number one, that's
Didn't-
that's my number
Didn't
four.
they
Number two-
beat? Didn't
number
they
two, hold
beat
on,
Wilt?
hold on,
Didn't he
hold on.
beat Wilt?
But Wilt was new to the. He came from the whatever the other nobody likes the league. What's that? The
ABA.
other league.
ABA.
Yeah, that garbage league. But listen, when that was happening, if anytime, at any point in life, if you see something like destroying other people, there's no competition. Okay? When that was happening, there was no other good teams. Now players in the dude, the Celtics had bench players that are Hall of Famers right now. Bench players. Some of these teams had
Name one.
2 stars.
Name one.
The Celtics had bench players on the Hall of Fame. I can't name the top of my head. But Bill
He-
Russell.
Bill
Russell-
Russell.
look
Bill
at his-
Russell is the
look at his
reason they
points.
won
Look at
those
his points.
championships. Wait,
No,
why?
He's
Okay,
a good defender. He's a good defender.
he's a
he's
good
a good
defender. He
defender.
was a good rebounder. He
That's
was a
it.
pretty good passer, and he could score.
He couldn't score.
Yes, he could. Yes, he could. Zach, pull
I'm
up.
pulling it up.
pull
I'm
up.
fact checking. Oh, by
pull
the
up Bill
way,
Russell's-
the earlier fact check I wanted to give you in 2006-2007 season, the Cavs finished second in the East. And,
There we go.
And also,
Not first.
the
first
Celtics
losers.
finished last in the East that year. But anyways,
Oh,
I'm pulling
yeah.
up Bill
We
Russell's stats.
didn't need
God damn
we
it,
didn't
Zach,
need to
thank
bring
you.
that one up. We didn't need to bring
Bill
that
Russell's
one up.
all-time stats. He averaged 15 points a game, 22 rebounds, and
Weak.
4 assists.
Weak. 15
Weak?
for a star. For a star.
They only shot twos. He couldn't
Oh,
shoot
no.
free throws. So what?
Zion right now, all he does is score twos. And
He's
he's
a-
averaging 27 points.
It's a different league. No. You can't do this because
Steph
in
Curry is
any
ahead
other
of him.
no
He's
in
top 10. He's
in
top
any
10, but Steph
in
Curry's ahead
any
of him.
other debate you would be like you can't compare eras.
Okay.
And now you're
One question,
comparing
yeah, no,
eras.
Because like people were far less
One
efficient
question.
in that era.
Okay,
Thank
one
you.
question. Here we go. This is for both of you. Ready? If he had 0 rings, would he be in the top 10?
No, there's
No.
a reason he has 10 rings.
Okay, because
11 rings because he's that good.
Hold on, let me finish my point. Because there are guys in the top 10 for almost all of us that have 0 rings. Am I right? Because they were so dominating.
Who? Karl Malone would be the closest, I think. Who's
I'm just saying, again, I
another
can
one in the top
name
10
it.
that doesn't have a ring though?
I name on top of my head. Oscar had 1. He barely get away with it. Okay.
Oh, you're
James
saying there
Harden-
aren't. You're saying there aren't people in the top 10 who have no rings.
No.
Is that
no,
what
no,
you're
no.
saying?
I'm just saying. What I'm saying is there are 1 or 2. I can't name it right now because I don't know who they are. If you give me top 20, top 15, top 10, 1 or 2 in there, especially top 10, who have 1 ring or 0 rings.
Also,
I
on top
Rings
of
don't
is
that,
a team thing. It's an organization thing.
on top of his rings,
It's a
and-
collective.
But guess what? It helps to have the best player in the league.
yeah, he won
He
5
was never
MVPs.
the best player in the league.
What?
He was never the best player in the league.
He won 5 MVPs, Mookie. He was the best player in the
He
league
was
5
playing
You
times.
the right
just-
thing. I mean, come on.
He was the best player in the league 5 times.
he was literally
He was
the best.
only brother in the team. He was
He-
the only brother in the league.
No, he,
Like Mookie, do you think the entire NBA was still
Short
segregated
white
except for
guys?
the center position at the Boston Celtics?
I mean,
Like-
think about this. Right now,
Wasn't he
NBA
playing
guys-
against Elgin Baylor? Wasn't he playing against Elgin Baylor, who's one of the
Elgin
top
Baylor was
thir-
the first guy,
top
actually. He was
top
the first guy, and I
25,
respect that
top
guy.
30 players
Huge
of all
fan.
time?
fan of
so
Elgin.
some more stats for you guys. He never finished out of top 5 for rebounding throughout the league.
I mean, nobody cares about rebounding. Give me
for a
points.
center, that's kind of like a major part of your job.
I feel like center. That's pretty important.
points.
For
Give
assists,
me points. Give me points.
For assists, he averaged top 10.
That's very impressive. That one is impressive.
For
What a big man to have that kind of assist.
Let's see. For points,
Top
he
20.
averaged top like 20 in the league.
Yeah.
Points.
Loser. LeBron, you'll never see LeBron do that.
For field
You
goal
also
percentage,
you can't compare eras. You can't compare eras because back then
there were a lot of
they
white people in
back then they ran. There was no like dribbling the clock and stuff like that. Like possessions, the possession once you grab the rebound, you run down the court and you toss up a shot in the first 5 seconds.
So he averaged.
They were the 7 seconds or less, but with no organization.
He also.
Yeah, you need brothers to do that.
He also averaged top 5 for minutes throughout his career, so he also played a shit ton. Which, I mean, that's got to say something. I mean, if he was able to.
I'm sorry. Continue your top 10.
I mean, I'm just saying it shows that he's the leader of the team when he's playing most of the minutes on his team.
Oh, no doubt about it. Again, I respect him. Because he's a Celtics guy. Like, dude,
that's the
Celtics
only
have,
reason.
What? 18?
So fuck Wilt Chamberlain.
They have 18, and all of that, like the 12 or 11, whatever he has, came from that one time. We were so like nobody was in our league. It's like the Golden State Warriors. If they had their run for a long time, it's like okay, nobody can stop these guys. So we might as well collect our rings in the beginning.
The Lakers were still pretty good back then.
And Mookie, he has personal accolades too. Like he has 5 MVPs and 11 All NBAs.
Weak.
He has personal accolades. Like it's not just the rings.
Those are rings help. I'm just saying, if he didn't have all those rings, he wouldn't be top 10. Let's say 5. Is he top 10 if he has 5?
Yes.
Nah,
yes.
I rest my case.
Then I don't know.
Exactly.
He's top 10 with 5. He's top 10 with 5.
Not,
yes, he is. Yes, he is. He
Is
was
it
the
like-
best player in the league for a decade.
Okay. Give me 10 right now, including players from today.
Give you 10 what? Ahead of Steph Curry?
Your top 10 players. Yes.
Ahead of Steph Curry?
No, ahead of Bill.
Players that are ahead of Bill right now, in my mind.
With 5 rings.
Oh, if he has 5 rings? LeBron, Michael, Kareem, still. Hakeem, at that point, I know he still only has 2, but Hakeem was just a better player, I think. Different era, but Hakeem would probably be ahead of him. Who did I say before? Magic.
Kobe.
No,
No.
I don't think so. Shaq,
KG?
maybe. No, KG doesn't sniff the top 10.
No. KD, Kevin Durant.
Oh, KD. I thought you said KG.
Yes. No,
Um,
KG's ass.
talk to me after these playoffs, and I might include Kevin Durant in that
hold
list.
on, I still got a couple for you. Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
Keep going. You got it. 2 more.
Then maybe I'd put Steph ahead of him, but
Thank you very much.
he has 11. But he has 11 rings.
No, we
Mookie.
don't need hypotheticals.
You're talking in
telling you,
hypotheticals.
So what's your?
If Steph Curry was in that generation, he would have gotten more. How about that?
Steph
no, he
Curry
wouldn't because there was no
played
3-point line.
completely differently. Yeah.
He would have
You're
gotten more.
you're comparing players in different eras. See, okay, for people that are listening or watching, this is what happens. Is Mookie usually uses a point for one argument, and then once that point doesn't fit his argument for the next one, he switches it up and plays the other side of it. So if we were to compare Pele to Cristiano Ronaldo, he'd be like, well, you can't compare eras like that, and say Pele was. And say Pele was playing against mailmen or whatever it is.
Farmers.
Yeah.
Farmers. Thank you, Zach.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's get this podcast back on track. So basically, both of you guys are saying Steph Curry is in your top 10 all time.
Yeah.
I don't personally think so.
I'm just gonna say simply for the fact of how much he changed the game, he has to be in top 10.
That has to play a factor. But if you think about if you're let's put it this way: if you're doing a draft of every player all time, where does Steph Curry go?
When are we playing it?
When are we doing this? When is this going down?
See,
when is the game popping?
see. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go again. Here's Mookie saying that we need to
No.
change the
So,
era.
honestly, like,
No, I'm going with your point.
Let's do a middle ground because I feel like early 2000s basketball is a good area. It was still kind of physical,
we
but
pick
the
5 and then we
3-pointers were
compare.
there. Let's not pick all 5, but just where does Steph Curry go?
probably like number 8.
Top 5.
Because
you think he goes,
you have a motherfucker who don't miss,
but also a defensive liability.
but he don't
You don't need to.
miss.
You build your team around him. I get Scottie Pippen, I'm set.
When you have a
But-
motherfucker who don't miss, I don't care if he can't play defense.
You win.
Yeah.
games.
Okay, here's the thing: is that Steph isn't a bad. Okay, here's my argument: is that there are a couple of players that I would just were more. Okay, there have been players who are more dominant than Steph Curry. Shaq comes to mind. When Shaq was at his peak, you could not stop Shaq.
100%.
Michael Jordan, when he was at his peak, literally nobody beat Michael Jordan when he was at his peak.
No, I get that.
You know, there are players like that. There are players who do more. Magic Johnson does more than Steph Curry. You know, he can't shoot as well, but he does more.
I
LeBron
picked Steph before
does
Magic.
more. You pick Steph before Magic?
Yeah.
So
We play
you
today's
think
generation.
Steph is the
No.
best point guard of all time?
After.
Do you
I
think?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, see that I don't think so.
See, that's just
in today's
that's just-
generation, if we were playing today, if we were playing
That's-
If we're
If
playing,
today, I pick Magic.
if we're playing today, Magic would just
We're
be
playing
Ben
today.
Simmons, but 1,000 times better.
Ben Simmons ass. I don't
Yeah, he
like
said
Ben
1,000 times better.
Simmons.
I said 1,000 times better.
He'd be
No.
Ben Simmons, but
Magic,
have a
you
little
Magic
better
don't work on
shot.
that 3.
Mookie, not everyone has to shoot
I
threes.
disagree.
LeBron's like a 34% shooter.
No, Mookie has it in
I
his head
mean-
that if you're a point guard, you have to be a 3-point shooter.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's Mookie's thought.
No,
Because Luka,
no.
look at
No.
this.
See-
Luka can do all. Luka can do all.
Perfect segue.
Except defend.
This is an exceptional segue.
Come on,
Um,
next jump.
Yeah, let's
welcome.
let's use that segue. Thank you, Mookie. We'll hop on that one. So the Clippers.
Oh, let me go first, but go ahead.
Okay, I'll let you go first. Don't worry. The Clippers are kind of a joke, guys. I don't
But
know
a
what
bad
other way to
one,
put
but
it.
like a bad joke.
But like a really bad
They're
joke,
like,
yeah,
a dad
one
joke
that's
that never lands.
one that's not really that funny. The Clippers are down 2-0 right now, and Luka cannot be stopped. He's a man on a mission. The Clippers, how bad they've been, how much they suck. Is the issue on Kawhi, the coaching, the role players? Is Luka just too good for the Clippers to handle? Who's to blame for them being down 2-0 in the series? Mookie, go ahead. You wanted to go first.
Listen to me very careful. I'm not gonna repeat myself. Luka Doncic played 8 games last year's playoff, this year's playoff. He's averaging 32 points a game. There are 2 players on that team, Clippers team, that compare themselves to the greats. They say, I'm a 2-way player. I do this, I do that. A couple years ago, they were comparing somebody, I won't say the name, to the King. Here, he's the best player. All they play today, he whooped the King's butt. You know what Michael Jordan did? He always didn't guard the best player. Him and Scottie, when they played, when the money was on the line, they put their balls on the line. Boom, right here. Who's the guy with the ball? I got this guy. Get out of my way. One gets one, and the other one gets the other one. These 2 fucking jokes, these 2 clowns in LA, they are shit. Lucas averaging 32 points, bruh. Somebody stop the motherfucker. Somebody stop him. If I'm playing with you, and this guy's averaging that, the next game. If I lose the next game, I'm coming off hot. I am guarding the motherfucker whole game. Hey, try to get that on me. And if he does it, I'm not gonna be calling myself a 2-way player. A 2-way player means you step on the line, you stop that guy, you score points, and you defend.
So, to Mookie's point, Zach, before you go, I'll add this on. The plus minus for the last game with the Clippers Mavs, I'm pretty sure Paul George has been the primary defender on Luka for the majority. I'm not too sure on that, but I'm almost positive that's
In
been the
game
case.
2, it shifted to more Kawhi.
Well, Paul George, when he was on the court, his box plus minus, which is how the team fared when you were on the court, was minus 18. Worst on the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard played the same amount of minutes, minus 7. So I'm not too sure that it's a Kawhi problem. Also important to note, Rondo, who only played 18 minutes, was plus 13 on the box plus minus, or on the plus minus. Zach, go ahead.
The Clippers are in trouble. There is no win. So I don't see them winning the series with the way that Luka's playing. I could see this being like a 6-game series, and the Mavs take it. The Clippers have no way of winning this because, there are former Clippers players scattered throughout the playoffs right now. So first you have Doc Rivers, who has gone into Philly and made them better than they already were with ex-Clipper Tobias Harris. So if Doc Rivers and the 76ers do well in the playoffs, you know how bad that looks for the 76ers management? That looks terrible, that you fired a dude who was doing well in the playoffs, and you're being stepped over. Ha! You see what I did there? Because Tyronn Lue. And then...
Bad joke.
Come on. And then you have Chris Paul, who, again, has solved another organization's problem, ex-Clipper, who is doing fantastic. It just looks bad for them, because they have all these successful players. I know Chris Paul and the Clippers was a little bit ago, but it just looks bad that they have all these ex-players all over the place succeeding where they can't. It just looks bad. And so I don't see how Kawhi would want to stay here after this year. If they do lose in the first round, it'll be even worse if they get swept. I don't understand how you remedy that situation there. And honestly, I don't know where he goes. If he does leave LA, I don't know. Obviously, he's a great player, so someone's gonna want him. But I don't know where he ends up because it's a weird situation over there in Clipperland.
I don't think I don't think Kawhi leaves, but if he were to leave, one of the interesting ones that I did see was the Heat, who could really use.
Holy shit!
Jimmy Butler is an alpha, but he's not really a scorer. Kawhi Leonard can kind of be the scorer and fits that system really well, just as a two-way player.
Also, can I say one thing real quick? What you brought up the
Yeah.
Heat. Tyler Hero has fell the fuck off. He's a bum. He can't score. Have you seen him in the Bucks games? He plays like
He's
a
not
fucking
good.
pleb.
He's not good.
He's
young though.
Let's
He's
stay on
young.
topic though. Let's stay on
He's
topic.
young.
We're
Yeah, let's say,
I just need to say that.
Mookie, go ahead.
Okay, the NBA has a problem, and the problem is people are not taking responsible for their own doings. James Harden example. Kawhi Leonard, who brought this guy over from OKC? PG-13. He put the whole franchise in debt because he wanted some garbage ass player to come play with him. The last 2 years, he's been asked. Now, my other point, the reason I compared him to LeBron and to the GOAT, the real GOAT.
Just really
That's
quick,
not LeBron.
I might lose power soon, and if I do, you guys just keep going.
Okay.
I hope it happens soon. But
Asshole.
my point being is that when it's your team, you have to take responsibility. Everybody takes responsibility. Do your job. I'll do my job. If somebody's destroying you, double team him. Make someone else beat him. What? Kawhi Leonard, he's got huge hands. Pause. How? The whole game from one to the other. Stay with him. I'm shutting down Luka. The person that's hurting us right now is who? Luka. Shut him down. And your role players need to step the fuck up. Talking shit, playoff Rondo. Shut the fuck up. Win a fucking game.
Playoff Rondo hasn't been bad.
Rondo
hasn't been.
Different.
He had the best plus minus on the team.
Depending on him. they're depending on him. I want you to depend on your main guys. The two big dogs play defense, play offense. I don't like how everybody's resting. The NBA is soft. They're all resting. Like, oh, yeah, I can do two things. LeBron James, for example, he's not gotten the best player the whole time because I'm saving my energy for scoring. No, do both. MJ did that. MJ went one side to the other. The whole thing, and that's why he's the best player of all time.
No,
if you can do everything.
You know what? That's gonna be our signal. That's how we're gonna know if Mikey was listening or not. Is he's gonna hear that and chew Mookie out.
Facts.
Here's the thing. Kawhi Leonard hasn't been bad. As well, not in game 2. In game 2, game 2 he was actually pretty good. He was defending, and he was defending.
The last 2 minutes,
better
he
than
was doing a really good job.
He was defending better than Paul George, that's for sure. And Rondo's been decent, and Paul George hasn't been as bad as he was last year. There's still some things that I don't really like about how Paul George has been playing. The plus minus kind of concerns me about how he had the worst plus minus on the team. Like, the team was statistically worse when at its worst when you were on the floor. That's not good. You know, that's not what you want from your second best player. Here's the thing, and I don't want to pile on Paul George because I feel like sometimes it's a little unfair. Like in the first game, Paul George was the only reason they were even in that game at all, because, you know, he went off in the second half. He actually had a really good second half. So I don't want to pile up on him, but I just don't understand how. All right, Luka Doncic is obviously a great player, and probably once LeBron retires, going forward, he might become the best player in the league. But he's one guy. He's one guy, you know? And does Dallas have decent role players? Like, yeah, you know, Tim Hardaway couldn't miss. You know, Kristaps Porzingis actually played decent, which doesn't happen very often nowadays. You know, they have decent role players, but that's exactly what they are, role players. Dallas has one star. Luka Doncic. Is Luka Doncic really that much better than Kawhi Leonard and Paul George that he affects the game that much more? Like, and this was the Clippers were at home, weren't they? Yeah, the Clippers were at home these first 2 games, and they lost.
It's crazy.
They might get swept. And you know what? Old takes exposed me on this, but the Clippers might get the. You know what? I'm gonna plant my foot in the ground right here. The Clippers will get swept. 4 games.
I'm fine with that statement.
4 games.
I also just want to point this out about
Clippers
Kawhi.
in 6.
I also want to point this out about Kawhi that it concerns me. So it happens a lot, and it's part of the Clippers' issue was that they disappear in the fourth quarter. Their fourth quarter management and they choke. They do. And Kawhi is like, it seems to be the driving force of that. In the fourth quarter, in the first game, he had 2 points on 4 shots. And in the fourth quarter, last game, he had 5 points. He doesn't.
That's in 12 minutes. Wow.
And obviously the fourth quarter, is when it's fucking crunch time, bro. Like, you gotta put up points. You're the star player in your team. You should be putting up big points in the fourth quarter. And it concerns me that the past 2 games he didn't, and he's
the past 2 games in 24 minutes worth of play, he's scored 7 points.
Yeah, that's not
good. But what
how many shots? Can you find how many shots he's taken?
In
Go ahead.
Overall or in the fourth quarter?
In the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter, he's taken 1, 2. He's taken 4 3-pointers.
Okay.
And 3 2-pointers. So he's not even shooting a lot in the fourth quarter.
Which is probably even worse. Is that he's
again,
shying away from it.
You're the star player. Take control of the fucking game.
Right. If my star player.
Though he was doing
Go ahead,
defending Luka. He was doing so well when he started to defend Luka. Luka had 7 turnovers, and almost all of them came when Kawhi was guarding him. So why can you do that the whole game? Luka respects you. He's scared. Like, every time he steps up to him, I mean, you're Kawhi Leonard. You're one of the best defenders in the league.
Or claim to be,
Don't depend on PG, man. Don't depend on Paul George. He's garbage. Do it yourself.
Luka also had terrible fourth quarters in the last 2 games.
I'm just...
Yeah, because Kawhi was guarding him the last game. I
But-
watched the full game, and he was guarding him the last quarter.
Luka had some questionable turnovers last game, no doubt. But the fact that he had those plays, like, how many Luka scored? He scored in the 30s, high 30s.
Luka scored 39 points last game.
39, yeah. But he didn't necessarily, like, yeah, that's great. But he didn't necessarily play, like, out of his mind. You know, he had some really questionable plays, some turnovers, and they still won by, what, 5 or 7 or
They
something
won by
like
6, 127 to 121.
Yeah, so the fact that they still won that game, even though Luka wasn't, I mean, he was, don't get me wrong, 39 points speaks for itself. He was really good.
He did lead his team in every statistical category, it seems like.
Right. Don't get me wrong, he was still really good, but But he had, if you watched that game, he had some plays where you were kind of like, what is this guy doing, you know?
Yeah.
And the fact that they still won by 6, it just, okay, here's the thing. On the point that we were making about Kawhi Leonard and the shots in the fourth quarter, I think I would rather have my best player take a lot of shots and miss them. Okay, this is basically what I'm saying. I would rather have my best player take a lot of shots and miss in the fourth quarter, but at least know that he had the confidence to take the shots, than him shy away from the shots and just not shoot at all.
So what you're saying is...
I'm basically saying I'd rather have Westbrook than
ready. What you're saying right now is you'd rather have Luka.
But you know what I mean, Mookie. The confidence between them is that Russell Westbrook wants to hit the shots.
You have your parallels right here in the fourth quarter. You're saying you'd rather have Luka than Kawhi because in the first game, Luka in the fourth quarter shot 5 times, missed every single one of them, and then Luka in the second game shot 2, 4, 6, 7 times and only made 2.
I would rather have it. Because you know what,
I agree.
With a player of Luka and Kawhi's quality, they might not go down this game, but I know eventually those shots are going to start falling, and the fact that you have the confidence to take them could change a game or two. You know?
Yeah.
Rather than if
you don't want that too much though.
No, you don't want. Okay, so you don't want like your best player going 0 for 10 in the fourth quarter. Yeah, okay, yeah. So you don't want your best player going 0 for 10 in the fourth quarter, but I'd rather have a player that goes 1 for 7 and misses, but has the quality of Luka and Kawhi, where I know that they can make those shots on a normal basis, than a player of that quality go 2 for 3. You know.
He's not even. I know what you're saying, and I get your point because he's not even. He's hiding basically. Like he's like, oh guys, you have the ball, I don't want it. Like, I know what you're saying, but I think it all starts with defense. And if the star player is defending, I think everybody will get hyped up because they don't have any energy right now. They need energy. I coach U6, and those boys that I coach have more hype, more energy than those guys in LA. Garbage.
Well, they are 6, so.
Yeah, they are, and they are 6 years old. I'm starting to question whether Tyronn Lue is the best hire for the Clippers. Like Doc Rivers was inevitably going to be fired just because of what happened last year, whether or not it was his fault. It was going to happen. It had to happen.
Yeah, but
before that, he was not good.
But
it's the organization, though.
The fact that the Clippers reports last year were that they were way too player friendly with Kawhi and Paul George, right? Is that they kind of gave them privileges that they didn't feel like they had earned. And then you go to Tyronn Lue, who is, by all accounts, the player coach of all player coaches. And I just feel like it wasn't the best hire. I feel like they needed someone like I'm watching the Knicks game right now. Maybe not Tom Thibodeau, but someone of that grain where it's like they're not going to take any shit and you're going to do the work, you know? Because
Thibodeau sucks.
He sucks.
No, that's not true. But
he turned the franchise around.
That's a different debate though. But you get what I'm saying. Of that grain of coaches where it's like you're gonna work for your shit because we haven't earned anything yet. The Clippers have not earned. The only proven player on that team, Kawhi Leonard's the only player on that team who's proven anything because he won 2 chips.
Well, Rondo.
And even then, he has and Rondo. Yeah, sorry, they did, but I mean, at the beginning of the season, to start the season, he was the only player on that team. Sir, do they have Ibaka still? Serge Ibaka would have been the other player who's kind of proven his value. Paul George hasn't won anything. He hasn't.
Well,
Uh,
let's take a step back though. The problem with them is the role players, don't you think?
They're but it's the role players. It's the players who haven't proven anything, thinking that they've earned the right to be treated as a champion. The only champions on the team are Kawhi Leonard and Serge Ibaka and Rajon Rondo. Marcus Morris
and
Marcus
Luke Kennard. So many. They have a lot of players that are just garbage. Like
Ivica Zubac has not won anything. Marcus Morris has not won anything. They had a Nick Batum, Serge Ibaka at the beginning of the season. Luke Kennard, who just doesn't play.
All of them are garbage. All of them. They lost good players and they got bad players back. Think about it.
Batum has been not bad for them.
I still don't know why they.
Batum has actually had a pretty good resurgence with the Clippers. He's actually not been bad.
Yeah, fair. But the players, think about the players they lost and the players they got back. Like it's not even close. They had dogs.
Would you rather have Montrezl Harrell over any of those guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Please.
Would you rather have Lou Williams? I don't know.
Yep.
In the playoffs, I'd rather have Rondo than Lou Williams.
Yeah, I think Rondo I'd rather have over Lou Williams.
The next team, let's go.
Lemon pepper.
Yeah, let's. So, final topic for today. We're trying to keep the show a little short here. The Nets, they're just bending the Celtics over at this point. It's just, and I know the Celtics aren't a great team. The Celtics aren't a great team this year, but it's just getting so ugly, and the Celtics just don't stand a chance. And are the Nets the most unstoppable force in the NBA? Like, I know they can't play defense, but they could beat any team like 165 to 156 if they wanted to. Like, they have Kevin Durant, who is probably Steph Curry's the greatest three-point shooter, right? But Kevin Durant is probably the best scorer of all time because he has the three-point shooting of Steph Curry while also being 7 feet tall. The best scorer of all time.
100%.
And they have him, at least the most efficient scorer of all time. They have Kyrie Irving, who, whether you like him or hate him, his personality, one of the most efficient players in the NBA, regularly has nights where he's like 14 for 17 with 30 points, And then they have James Harden, who has he had a history of choking in the playoffs? Yeah, but guess what? He also has Kyrie Irving, who's proven to be a pretty clutch player in the playoffs, and Kevin Durant, who is a very clutch player in the playoffs. Proven champions. He has them on his team, so it doesn't really matter if he chokes or not because he's got those two guys there. And James Harden is an incredible player. So it's like, and then on top of that, Blake Griffin has fooled the entire NBA and can now dunk again.
It was the same thing with James Harden getting fat.
And what kind of training program do they have in Brooklyn?
It's not training. It's Steve Nash getting in their ear being like, hey, fake this shit. Wear a bodysuit.
The most untalked about player on the team, Joe Harris, is fucking lethal from the corner.
Anyway.
Like, what is that guy shooting this year? He's probably shooting like 45%,
I'll get the stat.
Yeah, get the stats. Because if he's shooting anything less than like 43% from three, I'd be surprised. Like, and 57% from the corner.
Point percentage this season, 47.5%.
Like this guy's shooting 50% from the 3-point line.
I can flip a coin, and if it lands on heads, he makes it.
He's a lethal shooter. This team, you know what? They're the most. I think they're the most unstoppable force in the NBA. And I'm gonna be honest. I don't really see how the Lakers beat them, because I presume that if the Clippers get knocked out early, the Lakers will be the ones to get to the final in the West. I don't see the Nuggets beating the Lakers.
They will be number one. Number two, what the heck is wrong with the whole world? Have you guys been watching basketball? Because these guys haven't played nobody. The fucking Boston Celtics. Kyle, you know your team well. Kyle. That team, if we go out there today, we're going to get 2 points each. I promise you. That team sucks.
Like what
That team is
team?
booty.
The
You're saying
Celtics?
against the
Celtics?
Celtics.
Oh, okay.
Who the fuck is on that team? No, the best defender
But-
in that team is Marcus Smart, and he doesn't do shit. Number 2 is Brown. Brown's hurt. Jason Tatum cannot handle 4 guys. It's like that white girl
Pause.
with 4 black dudes. Okay? They are playing a team that is they're playing a sorry ass team from Boston. They are ass. They were struggling the whole season. They have a lot of problems. We got too much. Danny Ainge needs to go. Danny Ainge needs to step aside and get the hell out of my team.
Damn.
Number 1.
Damn.
Because hold on, because what's the draft picks? Put it up your ass, sir. Because what
The draft picks
we
got
have
is
2
Jason
young
Tatum
stars.
and Jaylen Brown.
We have 2 young stars. That need help, and they haven't gotten everybody. We got Kyrie Irving. He left us. Kemba Walker, garbage. And Fournier, really? Is that the best we could do?
Jabari Parker.
First of all,
Jabari Parker's GOAT. Now, hold on. Let me finish
I'm
this
not
because
here
don't
for the Kemba Walker slander. And also, Evan Fournier is not a bad player. He's a pretty good player, actually. He's decent.
If we pick the team from these 2 teams, let's say we pick 7 players. I pick Tatum right now. Healthy players, Tatum. That's it. He's getting there. I'll pick the starters for the.
If you were building a starting 5,
No, just you're picking 7 best players from both teams right now in shape, in form. I pick the first 5 from them, and Tatum that's 6, and the next one I have no idea who the hell it is.
Kemba maybe like
Hell no.
So
I
much
picked 12 players
slander.
before I picked
the
him.
Kemba slander.
So
I
much
am not.
slander.
I am not here for the
My
Kemba
point-
slander. Go ahead.
I understand. My point is that this team they're playing is nothing. It's like me and you playing FIFA against 2 years olds. We're gonna destroy them, and then when we're gonna let them score a goal or 2, and then when they score, when they're feeling good, 70, boom, gone. I was watching the game last. I feel sorry for my team. I am so upset that I wasted my 2 hours, 3 hours watching that stupid ass game. I'm not watching the rest of it. Until next year, I'm not watching Boston Celtics or Tottenham Hotspur, but they're both garbage. We wait until we see who they play next. When they play the anybody, name anybody but the Celtics. I think the first game, Kevin Durant was literally doing nothing, and they still won. This game, they stepped up. You saw what happened. Next
Kevin
game, don't
Durant-
worry about it.
Before Zach goes, just another thing to say about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is like the quietest person in the world at getting like 25. Like you'll think he's done nothing all game, and then they pull up his box score and it's like, yeah, Kevin Durant has 32 right now. And it's like, what the hell? Where did he get that? Like last night, you just said he looked like he did nothing, and I thought Kevin Durant hasn't really been too active either. He had 26. Like he was 8 for 12. He only shot 12 shots. Like this guy is the quietest. Is the quietest way to 25 points in the league. Zach, go ahead.
So, first of all, thank God he has like a decent nickname like Katie and the Slim Reaper because no one wants to cheer for a dude named Kevin. Second of all, and you both know I'm right because Go Kevin just does not have a good ring to it. Second of all,
Yes.
exactly.
Woo!
It's so white. Thank God for the nickname Katie. Second of all, I've heard this a lot of places, and I agree with it when I hear it. The Boston Celtics do not cause crisis, do not cause panic in the Nets locker room, in major part because of Jaylen Brown being out. That's a major part of the lineup and a major part of the threat that the Celtics have. When you put crisis into that locker room, which is what will happen when they face a Milwaukee Bucks team or a Philadelphia team who will put up a good fight against the Nets because they are a team that can compete with them scoring wise and stop some of their scoring attack on defense. When that crisis happens, what will that locker room look like? Because Katie likes to pout. Kyrie, yeah, Kyle, I'm looking at you, likes to flake. and James Harden likes to blame everyone else but himself.
But the thing is, this is playoff time. It's a completely different animal.
No, but you're telling me that
Katie might like to pout, but guess what? The last time we saw him in the playoffs, he was pretty freaking unstoppable.
No, but like so
the last 3 times.
This is what I'm saying. Is they like say they end up playing like Milwaukee or something, right? And let's say the first game they lose, right? That would be at home too that they would lose. And the second game is close, they win it. The third game they get blown out. And so the series goes 2-1 Milwaukee.
But we're talking in hypotheticals.
I know, but
and...
I'm just saying what, because I want to give an example of a locker room under crisis. What does that locker room look like? Because you have big personalities in that locker room, huge personalities.
Here's the thing. All right, to
Absolutely.
Answer that,
I agree with Zach 100%.
To answer that, I think that the worries about like the personalities in the locker room, first of all, by all accounts, they all like each other, and
because
second
it's been
of all,
easy going because there's nothing that's gone wrong. But
the thing is, we know. Okay,
exactly.
you've seen Kevin Durant online. We know he can find something to complain about.
I love.
All right, as much as I love Kevin Durant online, like we know that he'll find something to complain about. What the hell is that?
Sorry, my porn was acting up.
Yo.
But no, the thing is, we have. I think you guys are forgetting that both Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are proven champions. Like, and Kyrie Irving,
I get that.
Kyrie and Kevin Durant didn't like Draymond Green for like the last half a year of his Warriors tenure. And guess what? Before he got injured, they were still cruising pretty good. And then Kyrie Irving, we see now wasn't the like. I don't think he hated LeBron James, but he clearly didn't like being second fiddle. Won a championship with them, you know. So I think that we have proven champions here, and also this hypothetical. Just because you mentioned it, does Milwaukee really strike fear into the Nets?
Yeah, Milwaukee and the 76ers both.
Because in that series, the Nets have 3 of the 4 best players in that series, and arguably 5 of the top 8.
But Drew Holiday can put up a good fight against Kyrie and defending him. Maybe not scoring wise, but defending him, he will do a good job.
He will make Kyrie work for it.
Yeah.
Much more than Kemba would.
Chris Middleton can keep up with the Joe Harris 3-pointer. Giannis can,
but he doesn't get the same kind of looks that Joe Harris gets. Joe Harris gets wide open looks.
Are you looking just at the Celtics games?
The thing is though, when they
I'm talking just in general. That's why he's 47%.
Listen, when they're playing the Celtics, everybody's doing whatever because all they have to do is stop Jason Tatum.
No. This isn't.
They have 2 teams and 3 teams, and then they have to defend. They're not defending right now.
This isn't just against the Celtics though. Like Joe Harris has been open all year. That's why he's 47%. You know?
He's no big deal. I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about the other 2. KD,
I'm pretty worried about Joe Harris. Kyrie and KD are gonna score. In fact, all of them are gonna score no matter what.
I'm not worried about Kyrie. I'm not worried about James Harden. Who I'm worried about? Kevin Durant.
And he's gonna score no matter what. You can't stop Kevin Durant.
Yeah, exactly. So you say, hey, we know what we got to do. When you have a job, everybody does their job right. You get it done. Nobody's gonna stop Giannis and the other team.
But no one's gonna stop Kevin Durant.
No, absolutely not. But Zach said, Drew Holiday is gonna keep up with Kyrie Irving. James Harden is gonna get in his own head. When he comes to the playoffs, he will shut down. He needs to stop himself from stopping himself.
Who?
He's gonna fuck up. James Harden. He's gonna stop himself. That's a fact. We've seen him.
Okay, but once James Harden starts playing bad, they just give the ball to Kyrie Irving, calm the whole thing down.
Right. Kyrie, guess who's on him?
Drew Holiday.
That's
but the thing is, But the thing is, no, because the thing is, you're saying that Drew Holiday is going to stop Kyrie Irving, when
Absolutely. He stopped Damian Dollar. He stopped CJ McCollum.
Kyrie gets his points no matter what. Kyrie gets his points no matter what.
How much? Okay, let's say on an average game, how much does he average? Just on top of your head.
Let's just say he averages 23. I think he averages like 24, 25. No.
He's getting 18 against Drew Holiday.
No. Because it's not a 1 versus 1 game, Mookie. He passes the ball away. They have to rotate.
We just said it though, Kyle. When James Harden gets in his own head, because he's trying to pay bills on his own head, you pass the ball to Kyrie. Kyrie's done. Now you got Kevin Durant, and that I could deal with. To be honest, if they play today, I'll go to Game 7. Either way, Game 7.
I think the 76ers strike fear into the Nets, but I have a hard time believing that the Bucks do. I mean, definitely more fear than the Celtics. That's for fucking sure. But
the other thing is, the past 2 times that the Bucks have played the Nets in the regular season, James Harden wasn't there, and the Bucks did win both of those games. I know it's the regular season. I know it's a different game.
And it wasn't close.
No, they were close.
It's also James Harden wasn't there.
One was a 3-point game, and one was a 6-point game. They were both fairly close.
That's not close.
3 and 6 points.
3 and 6. That's less than double digits total.
1 or 2. That's not close.
That's a 2 possession. That's a 1 possession game and a 2 possession game.
I do want to say though, in that game, Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday combined for 93 points. So if they can put up those numbers again, the Nets should be worried.
I just don't see it. I think that the Nets can score better than any team in the league. They have at least 4 legitimate threats to score from range at any given point in the game, and they have Blake Griffin, who's had a resurgence.
He's not good.
He's been pretty good for them
against the Celtics. Come on, continue.
He's been good all season. But anyways, I just thought of this just now. Did you have anything to say on the Bucks and Nets?
Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is the Bucks bench is deeper in my opinion, because it's pretty phenomenal. Definitely. They have that's where I think they have the advantage too, is when Kyrie or KD comes off the court, they have the advantage.
Definitely, I think the Bucks are definitely a deeper team. But I'm saying, but to use Mookie's analogy from earlier, if we're building a 10-man roster with these 2 starting lineups, or with these 2 teams, pretty much the entire Nets starting lineup. Maybe you insert Giannis and Drew Holiday in there somehow.
Get out of here.
But Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Giannis, and Drew Holiday are all in the first team, and then after that it goes net. Who are you taking out of there, Mookie?
Fat man.
James Harden has been one of the best players in the league. What is this disrespect? So Mookie.
I'm not putting him in there.
Mookie hates the top 2 MVP candidates from 2016-2017 because he just doesn't like Westbrook and he doesn't like James Harden, and I don't even know why.
I don't mind James Harden, but Kyle, let's be honest, man. If we're picking a team from these 2, you need to have a balanced team. First, my point guard is Kyrie.
If you're taking the 5 best players, we're not building an actual roster. If we're taking the 5 best players, 3 of them are Nets. And if we were to extend it out to 7, are you saying that Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday is better than Kyrie, Kevin Durant, or James Harden?
James Harden's not making my team, but go ahead.
Oh my God! No. We're moving on. We're moving on because Mookie's saying that James Harden isn't a top 5 player in this series.
I have solved it.
No,
I've solved it, Kyle. I know why he doesn't like James Harden and Russell Westbrook.
Why?
He doesn't like Chris Paul either. Like, he said that he's not a winner, and he doesn't like Chris Paul. He hates people who play for OKC. He doesn't.
That's true.
He
That's
doesn't like
true.
players who eventually play for.
I don't
the
like
Thunder.
losers. My team loses a lot. I don't like losers.
Hey, what are
You
your feelings
clearly
on Kevin?
do.
I'm trying to fulfill it. So
Yeah. What are your feelings on Kevin Durant?
He's a winner.
Yeah.
He's the only Thunder player that Mookie likes.
Just real quick before we wrap up the show, one thing I thought about while I was answering that question, who do we think is a better player right now, Giannis Antetokounmpo or Joel Embiid? Who would you rather have?
What?
Oh. I'd take Giannis. I'd take Giannis.
I think
What?
I take Joel Embiid. I think I take Joel Embiid.
Injury prone?
Yeah, Giannis is moving.
I'm saying who's the better player this year?
Giannis. I'm taking Giannis solely for the fact
Who's
that
we're not talking. Hold on a second, Zach. Before you go, Mookie, we're not talking about injuries. We're talking about the best player right now.
The reason people are not voting for Giannis for the MVP, man, is if you look at his numbers, is what he had last
No,
year.
he's
People are
been
hating on him
good.
because
He's been
He
good.
cannot do it in the playoffs. That's it. He's if Steph Curry is the MVP, he should be the runner-up. But people just want stories.
If Joel
People
Embiid
want
played
stories,
more than
man.
freaking 45 games this year, he'd be MVP.
I'm
Zach,
taking
go ahead.
Giannis solely for the fact that it is nearly impossible to stop him when he's driving because he can move about 20 feet in those 2.5 steps. It's
But
and he moves he moves with such grace. Like you're not stopping it.
But the thing is, Joel Embiid, first of all, his footwork inside is really good, and he's the best center in the league. He can score from 3-point range, something Giannis can't do. He's as good defensively as Giannis, if not a little bit better. You know, so what does
I'm just
Giannis
saying,
have on him?
I need the agility that Giannis has. Giannis has a bit more. He's lighter on his feet. That's why
Giannis is better on the fast break.
That's why
How about
I like the agility that Giannis brings to a team, rather than clunky, chunky Joel Embiid.
Something like that. Exactly, ready? Would you rather have Zion or Luka?
Oh, Luka.
Why?
He does more.
Okay, thank you. That's it. That's. I'm done.
I'm done.
But I just told you that Joel Embiid does more, so I don't understand your
No, he
point.
doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
No, he does not.
Yeah, he does.
If the
He's
game
as
is
good.
alive-
He's as good of an interior finisher. First of all, if you watch the Bucks series,
I agree that part. Yeah.
Giannis
Interior
he
finisher.
misses a lot of pretty good looks from inside. He's a better interior finisher.
So
He's
does
as good of a defender. He's a better 3-point shooter.
Joel. Because he takes Kyle. You cannot do that.
Why can't I do that?
He cannot. He doesn't shoot many. He shoots 2 and misses 1. Scores 1. That's 50%.
Giannis can't shoot. That's why he doesn't take them. That's like saying Mookie. That's like saying we can't say Ben Simmons is a bad 3-point shooter because he takes 1 every 53 games. That's basically what you're saying.
Animal. Ben is a
That's
different
basically
animal.
what you're
But
saying.
what I'm saying to you is you want the player who dominates the ball to lead your team. Number 1. And don't forget this. Joel, injury, do not forget it. If you're gonna count
We're not talking about
count
we're
it.
not
You
no
have to.
we're not talking about injuries because we're talking about the best player right now. If LeBron James was injured, would he not still be the best player in the NBA?
No, he's not.
Yes, he would
The
be.
best player is the player that's available. The best player is the one that's available.
No.
So ready? Void of injury. Now answer the question.
Void of injury. You asshole. You asshole. God damn it. All right. We're gonna end the show on that. Do we want to do predictions, boys?
Yeah, sure, let's do it. I can
I'm
start
All
us
right.
off.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna steal yours, Kyle. Fuck you. the Mavs are gonna sweep the Clippers. Yeah.
God damn it.
Fuck you. I'm stealing it.
All right.
Before we finish, sorry. Is CP3 the most unluckiest player in the history of the NBA?
How so?
Every year, think about this. Every year he's in the playoffs, something happens to him.
Yeah, that is
Every
true.
year.
That is kind of true.
Okay. You know what? Just to make it quick, we'll each of us answer that question in one sentence. Zach, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, Mookie, go ahead.
So, I mean, I brought it up because every year, man.
I'd say yes, but he creates some of that bad luck.
How?
Just because he can't he can't finish out the series earlier and he gets hurt.
Oh,
He was
like
he was on some great
last,
Clippers
come on, you
teams.
can't say that.
He was on some great
No,
Clippers teams.
when they had the lead on Golden State, he got hurt. They were done. Last night he couldn't do anything because his hand.
Okay,
And that was game 1. He got hurt.
but the thing is he? Now we're going past the one sentence. But is he unlucky? Yes, but also like you got to think there's been a reason for it. There's a reason why.
You can't control injuries though.
But the Clippers, for instance, when he was on the Clippers, that really good Clippers team that blew the lead to the Golden State Warriors, he was not the best player in that series. Steph was.
I agree.
Like, he hasn't won a championship because there's been no point where he's the best player in the series. Notice who's dominated the
But
NBA
he's
Finals
not-
over the
he's
past 10
physically-
years.
He's a controller. He's a general. He's the general of every team he plays in.
But you can be a
And
general and be
when
the
he
best player in the
leaves,
series. Chris Paul is an all-time great.
Yeah, but he comes in and fixes franchises. He does that by
Yeah.
not being the star. He typically has like another.
Exactly.
I feel like he has
But
another.
no. You don't have to be the star, and be the best player. If you understand what I'm saying.
I think those two kind of go hand in hand.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Chris Paul is a better player than Devin Booker. Devin Booker's the star. Blake Griffin was the star. Blake Griffin was the star on the Clippers. You can't deny that. He was a star on the
Yeah,
Clippers.
Yeah.
Chris Paul was a better player.
Absolutely.
Chris Paul was a much better player. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like it doesn't have to be the star and the best player don't have to be the same
No,
person.
I'm just saying. With
And he's never been the
injuries,
best
when
player.
they come and how it affects the game, he's probably top 5 unluckiest players when it comes to injuries.
I'll agree with that. I'll give you that.
Oh, we end
That's
the
what
show on a
Not
nice
your prediction.
agreeing note, isn't that?
Anyways,
nice?
Mookie, what's your prediction?
Boston, bring your brooms.
No,
Bring
no,
That's-
they're gonna win one game at home. Come on.
No, they're not.
Yes,
No, they're
they
not.
are.
I will
Bring the
broom for
brooms.
you.
Bring the
They're
brooms.
gonna
I
they're gonna
agree
win
with
one
that.
game. They're gonna
I
steal
don't-
a game.
I'll agree with that.
I'll bring a broom for both of you. How about that?
Ah, jeez.
Mookie, $5 bet that they win at least one game.
Deal.
All right, sounds good.
Deal. You got it.
Okay. My prediction: the Heat will make the series even again.
Ooh, I
2-2.
like that.
It'll be
That's
tied
nice.
at 2-2.
Yeah.
So
I
so
have
not just
faith.
tied 2-2.
Huh?
So not just tied, because like it could be like it could go to 3-1 and then they tie it 3-3. You're saying 2-2. It goes back.
No, I'm saying they'll go 2-2. They'll win the next 2 games.
Interesting.
Kyle, I'll put money on that actually. If you want.
You put money
$5.
on it? $5 bet?
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Okay. You know what?
2-2
Deal.
At least. It's not gonna be 2-2. It could
Deal.
be even 3-3 later, but
Oh, hold on a minute. I'm not betting on that. I'm not betting for it to even up the series and then it becomes 3-3 and you're like, oh, well, I won.
no, cause like you just said, it's gonna be 2-2.
Yeah, that's what you're betting on.
The
You're
next
betting
two
on it
games.
being 2-2.
I'm not betting on
Yeah.
that. I'm not betting on that. But that's my prediction.
Okay.
Because it's slanted odds in your favor. They're already down 2-0.
True.
All right.
But
That's
I mean, they're playing home, so I'm
Maybe.
thinking about taking the other side now, but never mind.
All right. That's our show. Thank you guys for listening and watching. This show will be on YouTube, correct, Zach?
Yes, it will.
We'll chop it up in the segments. So this show will actually also be on YouTube. We'll probably put it out in segments. I'm not sure if we'll end up putting out the whole
I
thing as
think I
one.
might do it anyways. Why not?
I think we could do the segments and then we could do that and then just a separate one that's just the one long episode in case anyone wants to watch the whole thing.
Put the
Yeah,
link
that's our
inside
show.
so Mike can see it.
Thank you guys for listening and watching. We'll see if Mikey listened to the show and we will hopefully see you guys next week.